Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to the Beth Williams Indie Americana Songwriter Show, episode number 105. I'm Beth Williams, singer-songwriter in Colorado, USA, ready, as always, to take you on a journey where the Colorado mountains meet the West Texas wind and beyond. So welcome to all my listeners in the U.S. and around the world. I so appreciate you joining me. This is an indie songwriter show. That means these are songwriters who are not on a major label. They're doing it themselves. I like to start things off with a positive thought. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything that you gave me. That was from Irma Bombeck. And another one I love, life is short, do it now. So what I'm going to do right now is introduce you to the music of Tim Garon. Tim is no longer with us. He passed away in 2008 after being denied a liver transplant because he was using medical marijuana, so they wouldn't do it. But he left a great legacy of music. Laura Garon has a page on Facebook called Tim Garon Tribute. Let me just read you a little bit about him, okay? Tim was born in Minneapolis in 1951. He was an unruly youth, and at age 15, he ran away from Red Wing Military Boarding School where his parents had sent him, heading to New York City, where he crashed around singing and playing busking on the street for money before heading out to L.A. in '68. Tim became a hippie, going to the early Griffith Party gatherings and playing at any open mic at places like Artie Fatbuckle's cellar, where he first met Jackson Browne. Tim moved around quite a lot in his life, Minneapolis to Los Angeles, back and forth to Hawaii, then to Austin, Texas, and briefly to Nashville, but he was always playing clubs, also recording his songs. When Tim moved to Austin in '82, he formed a band called Current with Rand McCullough, and they played at clubs and festivals in Austin, Texas, Kerrville, Texas, and other areas. And in '83 and '84, Current performed at Aquafest, opening for Delbert McClinton in '83, playing the main stage. And that may have been when I was able to get up and perform with them, and I sang one of Rand McCullough's songs. I think it was Anything for Love. Tim was a great singer-songwriter. I didn't know him well, but he was a really, really nice guy, and he wrote really great music. And here's one of the tunes that he wrote. The name of the song is The Silence of Her Heart.
We walked upon the mountain beneath the sacred stars. She spoke of joy and sadness in the silence of her heart. Her voice became silent by speaking like fine art. Could not hear her weeping in the silence of her heart. Tears were falling silently. There was nothing I could say. I pulled her close to me, and her tears I drank. I told her as I kissed her, I loved her from the start, and I regard the bastion, the silence of her heart. And I would be her river that travels deep and far. She might sail upon me through the silence of her heart. silent. There was nothing I could say. I pulled her close to me, and of her tears I drank. I told her as I kissed her, loved her from the start, and I regard the bastion, the silence of her heart, the silence of her heart, the silence of her heart, the silence of her heart.
That was Tim Garon doing the title song of his The Silence of Her Heart CD. You can learn more about Tim and his wonderful music on Facebook by going to the Tim Garon Tribute page. Wonderful singer, songwriter, musician. Thanks for joining me. I'm Beth Williams. Next up, I want to say a special thank you to Margaret Freeman from the Gotta Be group over here on the western slope of Colorado for getting those CDs to me. I appreciate it. Margaret plays percussion and does vocals with the Gotta Be. I'm going to do a tune from the CD, the 56 Chevy CD called Train, Train. Following that, I'm going to do a song from another Colorado singer-songwriter, Cass Clayton. The tune is When It Comes to the Heart. But first up, here's Train, Train from Gotta Be.
Train, train, going down the line. Train, train, going down the line. Not gonna let them catch me on this time. Some folks like the water, some folks like the mud. Some folks see the city lights and some roll through the flood. But it's all a game. Not gonna let them catch me on this train. I still hear the one rolling on in a thunder now, and I still hear the one lone train. Train, train, going down the line. Train, train, going down the line. Not gonna let them catch me on this time. Some folks got a color, some folks plain old white. Some folks got a feather bed and some stay up all night. But it's all a game. Not gonna let them catch me on this train. I still hear the one rolling on in a rumble now, and I still hear the one lone train. all a game. Not gonna let them catch me on this train. I still hear the one rolling on in a thunder now, and I still hear the one old train. Train, train, going down the line. Train, train, going down the line. Not gonna let them catch me on this time. Not gonna let them catch me on this time. Not gonna let them catch me on this time.
There's a sacred place our thoughts can never go, an infinite place the heart can know, but you gotta surrender when it comes your way. You gotta give everything, don't be afraid. We've all been taken for the fools we are when we followed our heads instead of our hearts. There's just one question that you need to ask: will you love again or live in the past? When it comes to my heart, when it comes to my heart, when it comes to my heart, I lay it on the line. I won't hold back this time. When it comes to my heart, we all wanna keep a little piece for ourselves, just in case it doesn't work out. A foot in the water and 1 foot on land gets you nowhere. You gotta take a chance, you can rob me blind, but I'll be rich again. I'm not afraid of love, lose or win. I lay it on the line. I won't back this time when it comes to my heart. Ooh, my heart. There's a sacred place thoughts can never go, an infinite place the heart can know, but you gotta surrender when it comes your way. You gotta give everything, don't be afraid when it comes to my heart, my heart, when it comes to my heart. I lay it on the line. I won't back this time when it comes to my heart. When it comes to my heart. When it comes to my heart. Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. I lay it on the line. I won't back this time when it comes to my heart. When it comes to my heart, my heart, oh yeah, I lay it on the line, oh, I won't hold back, not this time, I won't hold back, no, not this time.
That was Miss Cass Clayton, and now here's Stephen DeJoseph with a tune from his Hypnotized CD. The song is called Flyin'.
You push me down an elevator shaft, and I go falling, I call you on the phone, but you just laugh at me. Yet I keep calling, Don't know why it is I act this way. Seems my words are useless to convey. I'm obsessed, or I just feel that way with you. You make me feel I'm flying. You make me feel I'm flying. Our conversations never seem to last. Yet I keep talking, I keep on talking. While tongue-tied words fly around inside my crazy head, I just keep talking, I keep on talking. Don't know why it is I act this way. Seems my words are useless to convey. I'm possessed, or I just feel that way with you. Oh, I feel that way with you. You make me feel I'm flying. You make me feel I'm flying. Yeah. Oh, I feel I'm flying.
So if you're just tuning in, I want to welcome you to the Beth Williams Indie Americana Songwriter Show. I'm Beth Williams, and I'm super excited. I have a very special guest on the line with me right now. I'm in Colorado, as you probably know, and this is an old friend of mine, Rand McCullough, who's in Kerrville, Texas. Welcome to the show, Rand.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so I know that we met in around 82. You were playing in a band in Austin called Current. That's correct, right?
That's right.
And then we haven't seen each other. We still haven't seen each other in a million years. I've always loved your music. So let's just start at the very beginning. First of all, where can people find your music? Because when they hear it, they're going to want to go buy it. Where can they find you?
My wife and I have a combo called The Limestoners, and they go to reverbnation.com/The Limestoners, and they can purchase stuff there, or they can go to CD Baby Rand McCullough.
And so, yeah, the Facebook page is The Limestoners.
There's a Limestoners Facebook page, but you can actually purchase music on the Limestoners reverbnation.com website.
Let's go ahead and kick things off with one of your songs. I'm going to do this tune, Song for Wilson. Tell me about this song. This is from your Citywise CD.
Right. This song was written for a good friend of mine named Will. He was like your basic computer nerd. I mean, this guy knew more about computers than anybody I've ever known. If you had a problem with a computer, you could call Will up, and he'd talk you through it. And he's a really great artist too, and I just love the guy. He ended up getting this, I think it was the Stuxnet virus, and he got hacked by some group of something. Who knows what he doesn't even know who did it. But it ended up, every computer he would buy, he would have to destroy, and he'd go buy another computer, and the same thing would happen. And he finally just completely gave up computers. He hadn't had one in years now. This is kind of a joke. I wrote that song about him, and a lot of people would call this Nobody's Online, but I call it Song for Wilson.
Okay, well, here it is right now. Rand McCullough with his tune, Song for Wilson.
sand, waiting for a stroke of luck to strike up the band. The problems were staged, the solutions were hacked. We found out the hard way, the deck was stacked. But we came down from the clouds and we're feeling just fine. It's a brand new world, nobody's online. We used to live our lives like it all was a game, but it played out when the correction came. Our keyboards are useless now, our screens black out. We had to relearn what life was about. We come down from the clouds and we're feeling just fine. It's a whole new world and nobody's online. Nobody's online. Nobody's online. Nobody's online. Nobody's online. Wipe that silly book off of your face. Don't worry, this is not the end of the human race.
That was Song for Wilson, Rand McCullough, who's on the line with me right now in Kerrville, Texas. So, Rand, are you from Texas?
Hey, I was born in Texas in 1952. I was the firstborn of 3 kids. My dad was actually a pilot in the Air Force. He was flying jets in Korea when I was actually born. My mom had to pull that one off by herself. We moved around a lot, like Air Force brats. I was living in Japan for the first, second, and third grade at Yokota Air Force Base. That was an event happened there that was really pivotal, instrumental in my becoming a musician. I'd always loved music. My parents couldn't pull me away from the radio. When I was 6, I was a Cub Scout in Japan at Yokota Air Force Base, and I remember we went to this big meeting on base where everybody was getting their awards, and I was going to get my wolf badge. And when we were there, we were in this large complex. I had to go to the restroom, so my mom told me it was down this hallway, and I left the big area that we were in with all the Cub Scouts, and I went down this hallway, and I got in this hallway, and I started hearing this live music. I mean, I went past the bathroom, and I'm only 6 years old, right? But I'm following my ears, and I get down this long hallway, and there's this door, and I could just feel the drums and the bass and the guitar coming behind this door. So I open the door, and I'm backstage, and there's a curtain back there. And I get down, and I lift the curtain up and stick my head under it, backstage, and I look up, and I see these three musicians, guitar, bass, and drums. The guitar player's back was to me, but out in the audience, I could see all these GIs dancing, swinging girls around, just having the time of their lives out there. And these guys were just rocking with some 50s boogie-woogie rock and roll. And I just stood there as long as I could, and then the bass player he was facing where I was underneath that curtain. And he finally looked down and he saw me. And he looked kind of like amused, and then he kind of saw that I was just completely enthralled with its music. And he gave me this look like, "That's right, kid. This is rock and roll, and you are now infected." And I mean, all the way home from the Cub Scout meeting, I was, "Mom, I have to have a guitar. I have to have a guitar." So it was like that Christmas that they got me my first guitar.
So you've been playing since you were 6 or 7 years old then?
Yeah, I should be better than I am, huh?
You're so great. You really are great. So that's when you first knew you wanted to play music, right? And that was your first inspiration.
Yeah, I had the bug bad, I mean, and I've actually had people ask me now, like, "Why do you do this?" I mean, and it's partly because I really want to, and it's partly because I don't do drugs and I don't drink anymore. So if I didn't do music, I just go completely insane. Music is my addiction, I let everything go to that. I'm just in it all the time, I'm writing, I'm recording, I'm playing.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and play another tune. So let's do a song from your Escape Velocity. Tell us about this song. This is the title song we're going to play.
I wrote this one with my wife, Barbara, and we co-wrote the lyrics on it. Basically, it's a play on words. I mean, a lot of songs I write, you can, because I leave it in sort of gray areas, but escape velocity is kind of a technical scientific term where it's like the minimum speed required for a free object to move away from a larger object. We just kind of took that and played around with it, made a song out of it into like some real life analogies, So
here he is now, Rand McCullough with Escape Velocity.
The weight of the dulling years, you have walked these halls, breathe in stale air, braced yourself to fall into this vortex of broken dreams. Nobody hears your silent screams. Escape velocity, what you're dying for. Escape velocity, in this mediocrity. Try to find one rule to be what you'll never be. A window draws out the air too soon, where your colors flow free. Yeah, into your trunks of lightless years, concealing all of your worst fears. Escape velocity, what you're crying for. Escape velocity, aboard escape velocity. Set me free, take me away from this reality. Oh, escape velocity. Stand as long as you can, teetering on the rim, until your poor tired name drops and pulls you into the vortex of these lightless years, never confronting your worst fears. Escape velocity. Know you want an escape velocity, but you've always longed for escape velocity. You're reaching now, escape velocity. Escape velocity. Oh. Escape velocity.
That was Rand McCullough with his tune, Escape Velocity. Rand is on the line with me. And Rand, let's talk about how you write. You do have a studio in your home, right? You have a recording studio.
That's right. I'm sitting in it right now.
And you do all of your own recording there.
99% of it. Some of it, like, you know, if I'm with musicians like Chris Gage, for instance, he's got his own studio. Right. And so I'll send him a song and he'll send me back some files with piano parts or slide guitar. And I'll just take those and import them into my computer and into my files and mix to my heart's content, you know. But it's a new world, you know. I mean, in fact, I'm in the process of baking old 2-inch reel-to-reels that I'm going to import it into a digital domain, kind of save that stuff I've recorded at Cedar Creek Studios. And a lot of those musicians that are playing on those tapes are no longer with us, like Danny Thorpe and John Trainer and, you know, Bill Gann. And strange when you get to be our age, you know, because a lot of people that you were used to having around aren't with you anymore. But
yeah, but it's so great that we're able to leave that legacy of music. Speaking of that, have you always been a professional musician, or did you have a stint where you went and worked at Walmart or something?
Well, I never worked at Walmart, but I've done some construction in my life. And in fact, a lot of studio guys ended up trading time with me where I needed to record more than I had money to pay for. And they say, look, build me an add-on on my studio and I'll give you an album for it. And so that's how I ended up getting some of my earlier recordings done, was trading these studio owners time for construction.
How long have you been writing songs with Jen Adams? I noticed, you know, when I look at your CDs, it's a lot of these songs are co-written with her. How long have you been doing that? And who is that?
Well, Jen Adams and I hooked up 40 years ago. We were actually a couple for about 7 years. We started writing together pretty shortly after we got together. We split ways after those 7 years, you know, and I guess it was maybe like 5 years after that we just started writing together again. We just always have really had that connection. It's a groovy thing. A lot of times she'll send me like some lyrics, you know, and I'll take part of it and then add lyrics to it or subtract lyrics from it and find one section that I really like. And, you know, it's kind of it's a creative process, and we kind of go back and forth with that. Sometimes I'll sit on some lyrics for months before, anything happens with them. And sometimes I write music by just, I'm always listening in my head for a melody line, because I can be hosing off the driveway and a melody will just pop in my head. And I've learned when I hear that, run upstairs and just sing it into a microphone as fast as I can so I don't forget it. Funny how many of those turn into songs. And I'm sure other songwriters are the same way. You're always just listening for those little magical lights to go off. You gotta grab them. Like I've had several songs that I've written. I woke up dreaming. It takes me a minute to realize I'm actually dreaming this original song, and I mean lyrics and everything, so there's a lot of different ways I go about it. Sometimes it's more methodical, where I've got this lyric, I'm gonna just imagine. And when I get a lyric that I really like and I don't have any music for it, what I'll do is just hook up my guitar and a microphone and just let go, totally let go, let it just stream. And I might sit there for 30 minutes just trying this and trying that, and trying this and trying that. Maybe come back 2 days later and listen to what I did and go, there's a little piece right there that I like.
Cool. Well, tell me about this next song that I'm going to play, Blue Ridge Lullaby. That is from your Escape Velocity CD as well.
I was actually living in New York when I wrote that. Barbara and I had moved up there because she was a vice president for Environmental Defense Fund, and that's where they're headquartered, is in New York City. So we moved up to that area for 3 years. We were actually living in Manhattan through, 2 hurricanes. I thought I was living in Port Aransas for a while, but we went through Hurricane Irene and Hurricane Sandy. And let me tell you, when the electricity goes down in a city of 8.5 million people, chaos is just around the corner. And you don't know how lucky you have it every day. You wake up, you've got your electricity and your water running. It was during those hurricanes that they knocked all the electricity was out, and people were congregating in this one area where they could get some Wi-Fi. I met a guy down there in that crowd during Hurricane Sandy named David Mansfield. Well, it turns out David Mansfield was the mandolin player that played on Mandolin Rain. He was in the original Bruce Hornsby and the Range Band.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was just an incredible, that guy's played with everybody and their dog. At any rate, he was nice enough to play mandolin and fiddle on this song. Like I said, it was some lyrics that Jen Adams had sent me. I kind of came up with the Blue Ridge Lullaby, hook line, and the rest of it just sort of fell into place really fast. It was one of those that I didn't have to think about too much, it just... Sometimes they just flow out of you like that, and that's always great.
So here's Rand McCullough right now with his tune, Blue Ridge Lullaby.
It took all my life to find her. Over peaks of snow I'd go, or down the darkest valley, but my love would never know. Her eyes longed for another, and so long my nights of woe, that I surrendered, yearning for ever to be her beau. Oh, deep in the misty mountains around the Shenandoah, asleep in the arms of a chestnut tree, there you'll find my soul, dreaming of blueberry stars so far from misery, where songbirds sing the Blue Ridge Lullaby to me. I gave gave my bones to the black bear's cove, my blood to a thirsty fern. My tear-stained eyes went to cloudy skies, my flesh no longer yearns. My love never found her lover, now she walks these woods alone. With every step she can't forget, only heaven hears her lonesome song. Deep in the misty mountains around the Shenandoah, asleep in the arms of a chestnut tree, there you'll find my soul. Dreaming of blueberry stars so far from misery, where songbirds sing the Blue Ridge lullaby to me. Where songbirds sing the Blue Ridge lullaby to me.
That was Rand McCullough, Blue Ridge Lullaby. If you're just tuning in, welcome to my show. I'm Beth Williams, and I do have Rand McCullough on the line with me. We're actually on Facebook chat, and he's in Kerrville, Texas. And you know, Rand, you have a very unique voice. I've always thought that about you. I've always loved your voice, but it's just real unique. So tell me, where do you think you've been with your music? But more importantly, where do you want to go? Do you want to be a rock star? Do you want to tour? Are you happy with your life? What's going on with all that?
I'm happy with my life. I mean, I feel blessed. You know, I've got wonderful people around me, really good friends and family, and not a day goes by I don't thank the Lord that everything worked out the way it did. I mean, where it goes from here, I don't really know. I don't really put a lot of time into wondering. I'm 67 years old. I don't think I'm going to become a rock star anytime. Just, you know, plan on continuing to write, play, record, do my thing. It's all good. In terms of my voice, some people, it's always weird for me to listen to my own voice back. You know, it's kind of, I don't know, I just get kind of queasy feeling. You're the one who's got the fantastic voice.
Well, thank you.
You know, and I was going to ask you, do you remember walking out with my band Current when we played at Aquafest?
I do.
We were playing in front of about 50,000 people, and in 1983, that was a pretty significant portion of the population of Austin. I don't remember what song you did. It was one of my tunes that you sang, and we backed you up, but I just remember you coming out in your blue jean shorts, you were barefoot, and you had a little white halter top and your long hair hanging down the middle of your back, and you were so cute. I mean, just remember, I think the whole city of Austin fell in love with you at that moment.
So sweet. So are you and Barbara interested in touring? Do you want to go overseas? Are you interested in house concerts? For someone who's listening and going, hey, I'd like to have them come play, what kind of venues would you do?
It'd be pretty easy to do house concerts, you know, within a day's drive. In terms of like going on a world tour or something like that, I don't know, because we'd have to figure out something to do with our 2 chihuahuas. But we talked about doing a tour, you know, where we could take our chihuahuas with us. Pablo, our male chihuahua, he actually sings with us.
Oh.
Just certain songs. In fact, there's a hilarious video on our ReverbNation.com site, the Limestoners, where we've got a video of the two of us in our living room playing Stand By Your Man, and Pablo's just singing his heart out at the end of it. It's just hilarious.
We're going to play this next song, Rings in the Fire. Tell me about this song.
Well, there's another Jen Adams co-write, and it's all I can really say about this is, if you want to know about this song, just read Don Quixote.
All right, then. I forgot to mention, tell me all the instruments that you play, because I notice on here you play a lot of different things. Just tell me that.
Yeah, well, I do all the bass, and I always play my old Fender Bullet bass, and I call it the Bullet bass because it got shot in a nightclub one night. I was playing at the Lumberyard in Austin, where this band I was in called the Almost Brothers. This is 1979. Played every Wednesday and Thursday was a nickel beer night when people would get really goofy. This guy walked in and shot and killed two guys right in front of the band, and one of the bullets went right into my bass.
Oh, my.
I still have that bass, and the bullet is still in it. So I do all the bass, and I do probably 95% of the guitar work. Sometimes I'll play, if it's simple enough, I'll play a little keyboard part. Actually played harmonica on a couple of songs, and I am not a harmonica player, but I just sat there and did it over and over and over until I finally got something that I like.
Okay, well, here it is right now, folks. Rings in the Fire, Mr. Rand McCullough.
His name is Alonso Quijano. From a space we'd rather not name. It's just like a place that we all know, made of rivers, rocks, and rain. With lasers and armor and electrical wire, the circuits are circuses. With rings in the fire, rings in the fire. He leaves his saddle on crumbling fences till he maps every inch of terrain. Then he ropes in all of his defenses, while his tale he will gladly explain. Taming chariots while the gold herders fly, asking impossible questions as the radio waves goodbye. Well, that's how we know where we are going, to ride those old windmills again. We hurry when we should be slow and confusing the dragons within. With lasers and armor and electrical wire, the circuits are circuses. With rings in the fire, rings in the fire. Should you meet our master Quixote, bewildered by material days, bring a damsel and a clever coyote, or to dream of more wireless ways. With lasers and armor and electrical wire, the circuits are circuses. With rings in the fire, rings in the fire, rings in the fire.
That was Rings in the Fire by Rand McCullough, who is a great singer-songwriter there in Kerrville, Texas. And Rand, we're just about out of time. I love your music. I love your writing. And I'm really excited that we've reconnected. You are just surrounded by great musicians, and one of them is your beautiful daughter, Carmen Caroline. And I thought I would just sort of end this segment of the show doing a tune that she recorded of yours, Ever Love, from her Carmen Caroline Again CD. Tell me about this song, and just tell me a little bit about your daughter, because people can find her on Facebook as well, Carmen Caroline.
She was born in 1979 and loved music from the very get-go. I used to hold her in my lap and play guitar when she was just an infant. I taught her to play guitar when she was probably 7, 8 years old. She just developed her own singing style all on her own. You know, I mean, she sang in the choir in college and high school, and She sings in the church. Just a natural talent. I'm just totally blessed to have a daughter like her. I really am. And this song, Ever Love, I co-wrote that with Jen Adams, and she's like a second mother to Carmen as well, and they have a really good relationship. This song's just about imagining an angelic statue that wanted to reach out, love somebody, but they were trapped in a statue.
Rand, thank you so much for joining me. I want to get you and your wife, BJ or Barbara, to join me here maybe in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'd like to interview the two of you about what the two of you are doing also. How does that sound?
That sounds great, Beth. Thank you, and much love to you and your family, and I really do appreciate it.
So here's Ever Love from Carmen Caroline, a tune written by Rand McCullough and Jen Adams.
If you weren't a devil, I would be your angel, and we'd be in heaven for the rest of our lives. So I'll wait here without you, as still as a statue, with wings wide and frozen, keeping track of all time. So hot, so cold is all that I have known. The fire in the moonstone is holding you now. I'd reach in to keep you, show you dreams can come true. Yes, I would hold on to you if only I knew how. This frost won't forgive me or bring me any sympathy, and the spring beneath us refuses to bloom. So our hearts will be written over and over again on the soul of the willow. No beginning, no end. So hot, so cold is all that I have known. Fire in the moonstone is holding you now. I'd reach in to keep you, show you dreams can come true. Yes, I would hold on to you if only I knew how. Ever love, evermore. Ever love, evermore. So hot, so cold is all that I have known. The fire in the moonstone is holding you now. I'd reach in to keep you and show you dreams can come true. Yes, I would hold on to you if only I knew how. Yes, I would hold on to you if only I
your Christian walk, you're not qualified, you won't do. And I thought, excuse me, but you don't know me, who I am, where I've been, or what I've come through. Won't you come to my house for dinner? Let me bake you homemade bread and sweet ham. It was long ago, I was a drunk and a sinner. Let me show you how much better I am. My house is clean and there's a warm fire burning. 2 cats are fed and my chores are all done. Every bill is paid and I'm not in any trouble. Look and see how far I have come. I look life in the eye. Get up if I fall, stand tall, and look life in the eye. My God and I. Couldn't see straight. All of those years I can't undo what's done, but I've been forgiven. I've been living a good life of each day with the sun. I look life in the eye. Get up if I fall, stand tall, and look life in the eye. My God and I. Life's too short to live like a beggar. I don't need your approval, I do as I please. So let me say right now for the record, we're doing fine, thank you, my God and me. So won't you come to my house for dinner? Let me bake you homemade bread and sweet ham. It was long ago, I was a drunk and a sinner. Let me show you how much better I am. I look life in the eye. Get up if I fall, stand tall, and look life in the eye. My God and my God and my God and I. She said, you're a novice in your Christian walk, you're not qualified, you won't do. And I said, excuse me, but you don't know me, who I am, where I've been, or what I've come through. That was yours truly, Beth Williams, singing My God and I from my In This Old House CD. You can learn more about that song and all of my music at bethwilliamsmusic.com. We're just about out of time, and I'd like to end my show with a positive thought about moving forward, being happy now, not looking back. So here's one. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. That's from Buddha. So that's it. We are all out of time. I'm singer-songwriter Beth Williams. I'll be back same time, same station next week. Until then, please come join me on Facebook, Beth Williams Music. Be sure to click like and follow, and then hop on over to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, Beth Williams Music, where I have all kinds of videos on how to yodel, some guitar lessons, vocal lessons, and of course, all my original music, or at least some of my original music. Until next time, this is yours truly, Beth Williams, wishing you well and reminding you, don't look back, be happy now, one love. Now, don't look back, be happy where you're at now. Be happy now.